I'm John Spodnik, former superintendent at the Westville Country Club, now the Westville Group Country Club. 24 years ago, of course, we had the 36 holes. We were looking for a new assistant to come in, and Mark Jordan. We were happy to hear that he might be available. His wife was working for the company at the time, and they were going to move her into the home office from Cincinnati, and Mark was working down in Columbus at Winding Hollow, and I knew the superintendent real well, so I talked to him, and he gave him all the praise you could get for an assistant. And so we had let's see, probably in the middle of the week, Mark came down dressed to the kilt, you know, and really a sharp-looking young fella, and he impressed on us that he was going to be our new assistant superintendent and take over the south course, as we called it, and of course the new course was the north. So as I grew up with Mark and working with him one-on-one, doing a lot of projects, he proved himself to be one of the top-notch prospects we ever had at Westville. And because he proved himself not only to me but with the company, and took over as general manager for a short time, but then he came back to his first love to become superintendent and natural resource manager for the Westville Group Country Club. I've known Mark, like I say, right from the start. He was the kind of person we wanted here at Westville, but also for our association and all related groups. And of course, he very active locally. He moved up through all the chairs from the Board of Directors in the Northern Ohio chapter of the Golf Course Superintendents Association. But OTF sought him out, and he ran for director, and of course he went through the chairs there and become president. Did an excellent job, and he was very instrumental in working with the environmental people, especially in Columbus at the courthouse, or at the State House, and got to know Governor Strickland. And because of his, I guess, interest in it, plus he being so involved with OTF, they now have what they call a Ohio Turfgrass Week. It's on the last week in May, and I don't know of any other state that has that type of thing. That Mark actually was instrumental in getting it started and finalizing it, I think it was 2 years ago. So he's worked with the governor locally. He's on a national legislation committee and met down in Washington, D.C. with all the politicians down there of all the problems we have environmentally and what we're doing as a golf course superintendents group, and becoming stewards of the land, worrying about everything environmentally, that everybody's trying to do a good job to be safe for the community, and of course statewide and then national. So when Mark showed he had the interest for the national, I said I want to endorse Mark Jordan, not because he comes from Westville, because Mark Jordan is the type of person who will do an excellent job for the Golf Course Superintendents Association. And I'm sure it's going to be more hectic than I had it back in mid-60 through 69 when I can become president. But Mark has shown all the skills and attributes that we would like to see on a national level. And since we haven't had a candidate on the board for quite a few years, and with Northern Ohio being the home of the Golf Course Superintendents Association that dates back to 1923, I think it'd just be, to me, a perfect time for Mark to get on board, show the people on the committees and national offices that he can do a job, not because where he's from or I have any influence on him, but he is the type of young fellow that will do us an excellent job